Okay, so with this one, when they say two-man lift, two-man lift it is. Tragic mistake. Man, terrible decision. This dude was, he grabbed my hat like it's time to go. It's time to go. Come on, buddy. We gotta get you on out of here. You thought you was gonna do the job, you failed. He just grabbed his hat like, yeah, it's time to go ahead and get you on out of here, buddy. Was when I and where I learned about what I should have done correctly. But I will say that we did end up getting the TV hung. We just had some. All right, so this job was actually a pretty good one, pretty high paying one. I'm about to say to myself, man, let's make some money. So I've been doing these Hellotech jobs for roughly about 3 years. This is like after my third year of being a technician, or at least learning about how the jobs go. And then this year that I'm showing, man, I made one of the worst mistakes ever. I believe this was my first year ever going around doing TV mountings, trying to figure out exactly how this thing goes. And this was a simple job. The client wanted me to take his TV, which I believe was a 55. As you can see, it was a couple of other things that we had to do. This was actually the last thing on the list, sadly. And we kind of let the ball drop on this one. Um, in situations where you're dealing with TVs 55, 65, 75, anything higher than 50 inches, I recommend that you get someone else or have someone else, like the box typically instructs to do, so that you don't make the same mistake I did. So the problem that we had or ran into today was, as you can see, I dropped this TV. I did a flawless job. So there were three things that was included today. One of which was going to be the doorbell that was for the guy in the initial beginning. The third was going to be a security camera, so we added that already. This was actually the last thing going into it. And surprisingly enough, I figured it was going to be the easiest. I probably should have did it first. And what I did not do or did not brace for was having the ability and stability to place a TV up all the way to where this is located. Now, this doesn't really take as long to do. So in a realistic fashion, this isn't really a tough or hard job to do. And the reason why I chose to start doing these more than what I did any other job was because the payout was a whole lot faster. So everyone is accustomed to a typical or I guess usual 9 to 5 pay scale, where in which you get paid on the first and or 15th or somewhere within the 2 week period, if that's the pay period. So what does that do and how does that work? All right, so pay periods like that become cumbersome, and here's why. So if there was an emergency that you needed to get to somewhere within the week, right? And let's just say you didn't have gas in your car and you needed to do something. You would have to wait or borrow and or get a credit card to be able to purchase or make the purchases that you needed to do. With doing jobs like this, I was able to get paid $300 plus in like 2 or 3 days. So the speed amount on where you get money is different. It's nothing bad. It's just dealing with the consistency or inconsistency. You take the good with the bad. So some days you have better days, as in you may have a job that's worth, I don't know, $85 and above. And then some days you may have great days where you have an $800 job and you're just like, you know what, that's it for the rest of the week. I'm done. I'll take that and I'll chill. And those are situational. Not to say that any and everybody is looking for anything like that. This guy right here, essentially himself, he couldn't do any of the he couldn't do any of the services that he was requesting for. And three of them, three of which definitely required tools, but and or he was moving to a new location where he was trying to figure out exactly where these things were going to be placed. He hadn't even seen the house 2 days in before we began doing any of these installations for him. But in this video, it was just like, okay, well, we'll set your house up the best way we can, best way we know how. We'll have everything working and running in any order, and we could do it all. So I gave him the good rundown, the great spill, told him how everything would be, finished with all the entire setup. So the last part of it, which is why I should have asked, but it was more of my fault for not forcefully putting it on someone to say that, hey, this is more yours than it is mine. So we were trying to figure out exactly how this TV was going to go up there, right? And once again, with anything 55 inches, 65 inches or above, I typically usually say, hey, you probably might want to have 2 people to do that. And this was the reason why I was already thinking and talking to the guy about the distance between how high the TV is going to be, where we're going to place it, et cetera, et cetera. But on this one, it was apparent that, hey, we're going to cover it, which would have made the job easier, right? And then boom, all you would have had to do was slip the TV up there. He probably would have been able to elevate his arms a little bit from there, but we take, once again, the good with the bad. So this is me preparing myself to do the absolute worst job in the world. A complete catastrophe. It doesn't look good. The recommendation behind it was, hey, I got it. I just need you to kind of put it there since you can't help. You know, he's elderly and he wasn't really, well, he was doing what he could, but yeah, that's where things went downhill. And yeah, that's where it was my time to go. So yeah, at this point, it was all just get the TV up there the best way we could, you know, without hassle, without trying to do too much. Now he finally decided to give me the aid that was needed. And it was a struggle to get it up there, but we managed to do it. Yep, excellent fashion. One of the worst jobs I ever did. But I'd say and do this video today because you guys can learn that there was some mistakes that I made. Mistake 1, you should ask whether or not this person wants to help you or not. The reason being is because if they don't, this situation will happen 10 out of 10 times. If you're doing a 55 or 65, that they assist you and aid with the lift of anything that is higher than 55. If they can't, then can we find someone that is within the local range to assist? A neighbor, a partner, anybody. Just please help with that part. And so it goes on to rule number 2, something else that I learned. All right, so with this one, bring help. If someone does not list it as they can help, try to bring some help. Usually I try to grab a few people that are within the area to say, hey, bro, can you help me do this? Because I may be in a situation where I'm working in a nursing home or working in an agape center where those people that's there are not able to help in the best way. So I have to do what I can in order to get this thing accomplished. And that's one of the things that we really have to focus on. So just trying to make sure that we do our job effectively and safely. And the third thing is just being conscious of what you're doing. So in the event that what I could have recommended was saying that, hey, man, I'm already in a position on where I don't need to lift this TV by myself. 2, the idea of breaking this TV is imminent. So we have to take that into conceptual thought. And the third just being what we can finish with this on. So it was a learning process on. We didn't make the best decision on putting this TV up. It kind of came out pretty funny in the end, but it was a learning lesson on a learning curve. So everyone understands something new. I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that by yourself because you'll lose out on $329 like how I did. So it's just to go to show you, make sure you ask for help when you can. One of my greatest failures, one of my greatest problems that I ever did may be something that can aid you in the future. So learn from my mistake, guys. I'm just trying to pass on the science, all right? PKG Lux is here. PKG Lux is out, baby.